Welcome to Epsilon 2 Sports, and today I'm going to do something a bit different with the bowling reactions. So instead of watching the whole event and giving my commentary of what happened, I'm going to go through the matchups one by one because I took notes for each of them and talk about each matchup. In between, it's going to be highlights from that match. So the videos won't be as long and it's quicker to do it this way. So a few days ago, the PBA Delaware Classic took place. And the first matchup was Tim Ford Jr. versus E.J. Tackett. And in the first 5 frames, it was real back and forth. E.J. Tackett did have a lead as he had 4 strikes in a row. Tim Ford, his first frame was 9 pins and a spear on the right lane. With these first 5 frames, they went back and forth as E.J. Tackett was E.J. Tackett was down after the 6th frame. E.J. Tackett was up 279 to 269, but after that, Tim Ford, he started to take over. E.J. Tackett throughout the last 4 to 5 frames, E.J. Tackett really struggled, and this wasn't a great match from him. As he struggled in this one, so he had a really bad performance this day. Tim Ford Jr., he was pretty good. This is my first time hearing about him. He ended up winning the first matchup 244 to 209 to move on to the next matchup.
Nice opening shot by E.J. Tackett, and look how deep he is already.
And he told us, once you've seen all that he's seen in his career as a correctional officer, this is nothing. This stage, there's no stress here.
Yeah, I was like, well, he said it's different type of pressure, but he likes this kind of pressure. Take a look at the two-hander who used to use his thumb with this style and took it out during COVID. And he said, man, it made all the difference in the world in my game. And there's a power revolutions and the pin action that comes with it.
Tackett opens with a double. Let's take a look at today's Brunswick oil pattern, the Billy Hardwick 44.
Yeah, so remember, the lane is only 60 feet in length and 44 feet is fairly long, but the key for this pattern in this building is getting your bowling ball through the front part of the lane. Look for the left lane to hook almost an arrow more than the right lane.
And the heads in this center tend to have a lot of friction, and that has to somehow affect getting to the break point consistently, right?
Yeah, absolutely. You don't want your break point to be at your feet. You never want to see the ball hook early. So the players will combat that with the type of equipment they're using and what they do with their hand at release.
Sharp start for the reigning PBA Player of the Year.
Good pass.
Meanwhile, Tim Foy has a great connection with Parker Bone. He was his ball boy back in an event in the late 90s.
Oh, yeah. Oh! With bad intentions, the messenger comes by and swings at the 10.
So let's flash back to the 1997
Whoa.
PBA Brentwood Classic.
Is that Parker?
You bet it is. And how about that head of
That's
hair?
awesome. Look at Tim and that hair.
It's Caddy.
It's so cool.
Stay close.
Sorry, Tim.
Focus. Good shot. Good shot. All right.
network, making his second career TV appearance, the other being in 2021 at the Players' Championship East Region Finals. He lost to Chris Veit, who bowled a 300.
Looked like Tim may have been in jeopardy of a shot clock violation, but he got it off in time, I'm being told. And take a look at E.J. Tackett's arsenal. He's going with his favorite, the Primal Shock. Well, one of his favorites. He likes that Venom Shock a lot, too.
It's easy to see why it's one of his favorites, because he's been perfect thus far, and you were bringing up the shot clock. Players have 25 seconds from the time they touch their ball to begin their delivery.
Another good one. And we take a look at Tim Foy Jr.'s arsenal, going with the Stealth.
Done it a million times. Just another one.
And take the lead right here halfway through.
He does just that.
Hey, let's go down to the floor and talk to Parker.
Look, I know what you mean on the biggest shot of his life in the title match, but thus far in his bowling career, the build-up to that, a stoppage, you need the timeout, his daughter, that could have gone south.
Yeah.
That could have gone south.
Like I said, I mean, to ace a shot like that was pretty amazing after all the stuff that went on prior to him letting go of it.
Needs 17. Tim Foy. Big time!
What a great shot by Tim Foy. He's going to move on to match number 2. Another disappointing loss for E.J. Tackett. And Tim Foy's consolation prize, he gets Bill O'Neill.
Well, will the 7 give? Didn't take the Sunday lunch invite.
Well, let me just say it's a good thing that didn't happen on his first shot.
Yeah, I'd say.
Then the next matchup was Tim Foy Jr. taking on Bill O'Neill. I've heard about Bill O'Neill a few times. They both started with a strike and Bill O'Neill started with a spare, then a strike, and Tim Foy started with a strike and a spare. So Bill O'Neill was up 290 to 280 after the first 2 frames. And then this matchup, Tim Foy, he pretty much struggled most of this matchup. He didn't get a lot of strikes. He had in the 5th frame, he had a 7-pin and had an 8-pin in the 9th frame, had back-to-back 9 pins. And Bill O'Neill ended up having the same score as E.J. Tackett from the previous matchup. But what Bill O'Neill, he was able to max out a 209 to win, and Tim Foy Jr. had 184. Bill O'Neill, he was pretty much in control, and once he got what he needed in the 10th frame, he needed 8 pins, I think, and he got 9, and that sealed the deal on that matchup. Once again, so these first 2 matchups, they weren't great, as Tim Foy dominated the first one, then Bill O'Neill dominated the second one. It was like the beginnings of both of them. It started off competitive, but towards the end, it was a pretty mid matchup, and it wasn't close at the end. Bill O'Neill will move on to the next matchup.
2021. Bill O'Neill had to pull out of the event due to COVID, and as alternate, Foy had to get from Delaware to Jupiter, Florida overnight in order to bowl. Ended up facing Chris Veit. who bowled a 300. He flew all the way
Yeah.
down to Florida to be on the receiving end of
I
that.
know, right?
That's tough.
He bowled nice, too. Could have shot 260. Yeah, there's that left lane starting to go. And next time up, Tim will make a move. A little bit inside of target.
Tried.
There's only a couple more boards left on that left lane.
Shot.
I mean, his laydown on that left lane is 37 and a half. I think there's only 39 boards on the lane.
That's tight.
All of our great stats come to us from our dear friends at Lane Talk. You want to be a better bowler? Want to shoot higher scores? Head on over to lanetalk.com.
Back to O'Neill, the 14-time champion. Players champion 2020 and 2024 this year, and the 10 hangs.
Little soft 10 for Bill O'Neill, not getting that ball to come around the corner quite hard enough to drive the 6 into the 10.
His fourth championship round in 6 events. He lives 90 minutes north of here in Langhorne, PA.
And while we have a second, I'd like to, on behalf of the PBA and our production crew, send out our condolences to our director, David Newman, who lost his father a couple of days ago. David, we're all thinking about you, and all of our thoughts and prayers are with you and the Newman family.
May Bob rest in peace. There it is for Bill O'Neill, a strike. In his final frame against Don Barrett, with the game having already been decided, he left the 1-2-6-10. Same split that he left and missed twice in the U.S. Open show that we talked about. This time, he made the spare.
A better one.
Well, at the U.S. Open, he left the 1-2-4-6 twice. So put the 4-pin in with that. And not to be a stickler, but
You are a stickler. That's what makes you great. And Bill O'Neill's going to be moving on. And he'll be moving on to face David Boog Kroll, who is making his first ever television appearance.
needs just 8.
That'll be enough. The real deal is moving on. Bill O'Neill seeking.
Then the next matchup was Bill O'Neill taking on David Kroll. And it was my first time hearing about David Kroll. But this was the best matchup right here. They went back and forth the entire time. Then it was a few strikes to start off, but this was a really back and forth matchup after by the time it was the 5th frame, Bill O'Neill led 258 to 257. It was back and forth with strikes, pairs, 2 8-pins from Bill O'Neill, a 7-pin and 9-pin from David Kroll. It was really great back and forth action. And then you get in the second half of the matchups, both of them getting multiple strikes, even getting 9 pins. It was one point where Bill O'Neill, he got a 7-pin, which brought him down a lot. Then he was only able to get 2 pins out of the next 3. But it was the 10th. But in the 9th frame, David Kroll led 217 to 214. Then the 10th frame, David Kroll, he got a strike, and he needed two strikes, I think, and that would have sealed the deal. But he had got a 5-pin. So, and it's 10 pins, so they left 5 more pins, and he was only able to get 1. Then Bill O'Neill, he was able to get a strike, and he got 9 pins and a spare. So both of these guys maxed out at 203. So then they have this thing called the roll off after, which is whoever doesn't get a strike loses. It's kind of like overtime rules in other sports. Yeah, this would roll off would be bowling's overtime because they both maxed out at 203. And David Kroll, since he was the higher seed at number 2 and Bill O'Neill's number 3, he got to pick which lane they bowled in. David Kroll, he got a strike on the right lane. So to keep the matchup alive, to keep it going, Bill O'Neill needed a strike, and he wasn't able to get it. Got 9 pins, so David Kroll won the roll-off 10-9. But this was a great matchup. It was definitely the best matchup of the night, probably the best of the year so far. This was really entertaining, down to the wire, fun to watch. I really enjoyed this matchup between David Kroll and Bill O'Neill. And a lot of these guys, I think 3 out of the 5 guys in this matchup, in this event, was the first time that I heard about them. But everybody did their thing, but this was the best match. That was definitely the best matchup.
Champion. He told you a story about facing Jesper Svensson as well in our interview with him, using a ball he never had plans to play right. There's a strike.
Yeah, but I mean that's the difference with the 10-pin in the 8th frame. If he carries that hit, he has a three-bagger and the lead. But yeah, you're talking about him and Svensson in the bracketed finals where O'Neill just chews up a piece of the lane for himself. Jesper's left-handed. He knows he's got it all to himself and uses that to his advantage to win that match.
All right, 10-pin, 10-pin. Way better shots.
And another 10-pin. And look how wide that angle is getting on the right lane. So it's 3 consecutive 10-pins for Kroll on the right lane, but he also has 2 Brooklyns and 1 nosedive for strikes. Sometimes it's a cruel game. See how things are evening out? Look at that thing come back.
Man.
That thing came back from D.C.
Yes, it did. The sport giveth, the sport taketh away. You talked about those Brooklyns. As he goes to the left lane, let's look back.
So here's the first Brooklyn on that lane. Then he barely catches the head pin running away on this shot. And fortunate enough just to trip the 9 late. And then this one goes through the face and rolls the 3-pin forward. All on that left lane.
Done it all week. Commit here.
Eight years pro, now full time. This is Kroll's time.
Yeah. Wow.
It comes up with another fortunate strike on the left.
Can I have a re-rack, Tony? Bro, what is going on right now? Commit to the shot. You've done it all week. Come on.
Well, if he commits to this next shot and gets 8, he's going to shut out O'Neill. 3 Brooklyns now and 1 nosediver on the left lane.
Forget about that one. Let's get it here. You dream of this. Come on. Man.
Oh, no.
Well, that changes things, especially on how he attempts to shoot this split.
What do you think?
Well, he needs to get at least 8. So cover this. That's a huge mistake.
That is a dream turned nightmare. An absolute nightmare.
So now O'Neal can go strike 9 spare. We have a tie. But for the win, O'Neal needs a double.
Winner gets Thomas Kalka. Come on, roll it. What a massive mistake by Kroll.
If he would have gotten 8, he takes the tie out of the equation.
Here we go. The real deal.
Oh, hey, carried one.
Stay down, roll it. Stay down and roll it.
The Players' Champion, a crowd favorite.
That's a veteran look right there. That's a major championship winner look right there.
14-time champ. The other 2 players remaining have never won on the PBA Tour. Experience wins a strike to advance to the final. Wow, the 10 wouldn't give.
It's not over. Again, getting back to the count lost in the 10th frame for Kroll. O'Neal needs to cover the 10-pin to go to extra innings.
And for David Kroll, his nightmare dream ended just before the worst part. We have a roll-off. Wow.
By PBA rule, this tie must be broken by a sudden death roll-off. David Kroll is elected to start the roll-off.
You know, even if Kroll got 7.
Unbelievable.
But he got 5-1. Goes 5-2, 5-3. He's moving on to the title match.
Go with one. Couple.
He gets an extra life.
Go some.
Kroll electing to go first. On the right with that loft. It comes around. And this time for Kroll. He delivers.
And for Kroll, he's hoping it doesn't have to go another frame because that means they would move to the left lane. Headpin was almost interrupted, but still has enough on it to take the 10 out. Now O'Neal must strike.
Roll it.
Needs a strike to stay alive. David Kroll is moving on to the finals.
Now for the final matchup, you had number 1 ranked Thomas Koop. I honestly don't know how to pronounce his name. I might have butchered that horribly, but he went up against David Kroll, and it seemed like David Kroll, he still had a lot of energy left from that last match, and this one it was a few strikes here and there throughout the first 6 frames. It was some 7 pins here and there. But it just seemed like David Kroll, he had the advantage from start to finish. Because once David Kroll, he was still riding high from the momentum of last game. And he didn't let, and it didn't seem to affect him having to bowl back-to-back. And he was high, he got it going, and he was able to win 209 to 190. And it's crazy to think there was 2 matchups where somebody matched up to 209, but in the first matchup when EJ Tackett had 209, he lost. So this goes to show how important it is to get the right matchup and how lucky you can get. And then in the 10th frame, David Crow, he had got 8 pins. That was all he needed to win to max out a 209. And Thomas guy, he didn't even get the bowl in the 10th frame because it was over. So David Crow won the PBA Delaware Classic. So congratulations to him. The event as a whole, it was pretty mid, but David Crow and Bill O'Neill, David Crow and Bill O'Neill, that was exciting to watch. But the other 3 matchups, they were pretty mid. But I still enjoyed it for the most part. It's been fun and entertaining watching this bowling season play out. And their All-Star weekend is coming up soon. So I don't know how I do that. I might react to it normally, or I could break it down like this and have the highlights in between. But if you made it this far in the video, make sure you leave a like and subscribe. And peace.
He picked up Sudoku earlier this week, just allowing him to be calmer in between shots. Picking up a page out of Kyle Troop's proverbial book. Kyle was reading a book last week en route to a title in Indiana. Three-six.
Yeah, that was a little bit high and a little bit left, wasn't it? Again, you got to trust this one. You're throwing it in the air and you're throwing it hard, but you know there's enough friction. You got to make better shots. He was working on a double.
All right.
But now just cover the 3-6 and take a seat.
Spare, back-to-back strikes, and an 8 spare for Boog. Back to Kalka. Second career TV finals for him. He made the 2023 U.S. Open show, finished 3rd in the event, which was won by EJ Tackett. Tackett, a part of today's event, he fell to Tim Foy Jr. in our first matchup. John Fansa, Randy Peterson, Kimberly Pressler, our entire Fox Sports crew with you. Delaware Classic Championship match. Whoever wins will be a first-time PBA Tour champ. Come on over.
Ooh.
Sorry, I've got plans.
No, wait. Oh, a little short pin.
No, I've got plans, okay? I already bought the groceries for dinner. I'm cooking at home tonight.
There was a lot of ammo coming after that 10 pin.
Oh.
Just saying.
Covers.
And let's go down to the floor with Dino Castillo, PBA Tour champion. Dino, the oil pattern's starting to show its teeth. I mean, they're starting to look pretty nasty. What's going on, and what do you see?
Well, the left lane's just gone. They're doing everything they can to get it through the front. The problem is the more they loft, it actually picks up too quick. So trying to get it through the front is the key. Thomas does better spinning it through the front. Bug's going to have some trouble. He's got to find a way to either throw over it or just spin it to the front. So it's going to come down to the wire. It's going to come down to this left lane. I think they got the right down pretty good, but this left lane is going to be either the Terminator or the winner here.
Dino, was that a ball change on the left lane for Kako?
No.
Nope, same ball.
He stayed with the same ball, just trying to do something a little different.
All right. Thanks, Dino.
You're welcome.
That type of access is just outstanding to be able to hear what's happening. The left lane will be the terminating factor, the Terminator.
Oh, see it.
Oh, boy.
Oh, boy, it's right.
1-2.
Man, did that come wide. Any wider.
Yeah, it could have been 0. You know, Dino made a great point. It's like, you know, the players are, Boog is lofting and trying to throw it halfway down the lane. And the problem is, when you're doing that, you tend to catch the ball in the upswing, and that makes you hit up on it, which makes the ball read even earlier. So it's kind of a combination of lofting it and then not hitting up and still getting it to go to the right. It's not that easy to do.
She said 15-pound ball.
See, and all he had to do was get that one in the floor and make it go Brooklyn.
Yeah.
Although he has some experience with Brooklyn today, doesn't he?
He does.
Yeah.
Multiple.
Not intentionally.
No.
That's a good cover, and he maintains a 19-pin lead.
And now back to the left.
Yeah.
She's going to determine this.
I think so.
He came back.
Yep, I think it's all about the left lane, and Kroll's going to finish the match on the left lane.
During COVID, he almost decided to give everything up in this sport and get a 9-to-5 job. Just woke up one day and said, I can't give this up. During that off time, during COVID, he practiced as much as he could. Fell back in love with it. And just now believes in his abilities. And that 6th at the U.S. Open that we talked about served as validation that he belongs, that he can be here, that he can win. Right now with a lead.
Praying for this plastic ball to slide into the 3-6-10, and it does, just enough. But you can see just how much the lanes have deteriorated, this oil pattern.
See it longer. Yeah. What happens is you're getting...
Hang on, listening to this.
The thing is, it's not getting too hot, so
Yes.
Kevin Williams chatting with him. Great friends. Kalka.
That ball's super responsive down lane for Tomas. And getting back to the deterioration of the oil pattern, our height game thus far today, 244, that was in our first match. Since then, a 209, a 184, and a couple of 203s.
244 coming from Tim Foy.
Yep.
Who beat Tackett.
This is bowling's version of Survivor.
Cover for Kalka. Is a first-time PBA champion, and there's no apology needed for that.
A month ago at the U.S. Open, Dino Castillo told me about this young man. He said, watch out for Boog. And I'm like, Boog? Who's Boog? And he pointed him out, and I watched David bowl some at that event, and I said, wow, this kid's impressive. But he had a lot of really good things go his way today, and you have to have that to win on the tour.
He won 3 PBA regionals last year.
That's it.
David Kroll is your Delaware Classic champion, and Boog is a first-time PBA champ. The 2024 PBA season